Namaste viewers, I welcome you all back on this national webinar series Yoga Ramayana Vishwakosha History. We have with us Professor K. Subramaniam ji to speak about Sanketa Ramayana.
वंदे शंभुमुमापतिं सुरगुरुं वंदे जगत्कारणं वंदे पन्नगभूषणं शशिधरं वंदे पशूनां पतिं वंदे सूर्यशशांक वह्निनयनं वंदे मुकुन्दप्रियं वंदे भक्तजन आश्रयं च वरदं वंदे भक्तजन आश्रयं च वरदं वंदे शिवं शंकरं श्रीराघवं दशरथात्मजमप्रमेयं सीतापतिं रघुकुलान्वय रत्नदीपं आजानुबाहु अरविन्ददलायताक्षो रामो निशाचरविनाशकरो नमामि. Friends, all of us have minds. Mind is feminine. Whether we are men or women, mind is feminine. The mind is categorized into three types. One is the pure mind, chaste mind, cultivated mind, cultured mind, perfect mind, positive mind. The second is the impure mind, unchaste mind, selfish mind, egoistic mind, and mind which dwells only in the profane things. In between the pure mind and the impure mind, we have the mediocre mind. Minds are three types: the perfect, the most imperfect, and the mediocre. Pure, impure, and the mediocre. Chaste, unchaste, and the mediocre. In the Ramayana, Valmiki Maharshi presents these three types of mind in three female characters. One is Sri Sita Devi, the pure mind, the chaste mind, the perfect mind. She is born of the plowed land. Land which is plowed means the land which is cultivated, which is cultured, which is perfect. Nobody by birth is grand, good, excellent. Gold, when you take from the earth, is not perfect. It has to be processed. It has to be cured. It has to be cultured. In the bowels of the earth, we have the petrol, diesel, kerosene, etc. But as soon as they are taken, they are crude oils. These crude oils are to be refined, purified, cultured, processed. Similarly, by birth, everybody may not be perfect. They may be rude, crude, uncultured, uncivilized. This person is to be purified. To make gold 24 karat gold, there are several steps for purification. Similarly, for the crude oil to be the refined oil, there are several steps for purification. Man or woman, to be purified, to be perfect, there are several steps of purification. They are called samskaras, purificatory ceremonies, and they are 16 in number. Sita Devi is perfect in every respect. Purity is Sita Devi. Fidelity is Sita Devi. Strength is Sita Devi. Perfection is Sita Devi. Single-minded devotion is Sita Devi. The mind of Sita Devi is like a magnetic needle. In whichever position it is placed, it points only to the north. Similarly, Sita Devi's mind is engrossed in the thoughts of Sri Ram. Her mind shows Sri Ram only always. The mind of Sri Sita Devi is cultivated, perfected, purified, and it is the best. Sita is the cultured lady. This Sita Devi is kidnapped by Ravan. She is imprisoned in Ashokavana. Her mind is always with Sri Ram. The wealth of Ravana, the threats of Ravana, the temptations offered by Ravana do not bring Sita Devi to the profane world. She is ever profound. She is ever perfect. She is ever divine. And that is the mind of good love, perfect love, prema. It is the best mind, chaste mind. When we come to the mediocre mind, we find Ahalya. Sita is born in the plowed land, perfected land, and she is perfected because she is cultured. Hala is plow. The instrument, the weapon that Balaram has is called plow, and that is used to plow the land, cultivate the land, purify the land. Hala is plow, Ahalya is unplowed, Halya is plowed. Ahalya is impure, uncultured, uncivilized, imperfect. She is not 100% chaste. She is the person of an ordinary mind, a combination of prema and kama. In Sita, we have prema 100% gold. Here, the mind of Ahalya is a combination of two. She has prema, she also has kama. This prema is devoted to Gautama Maharshi. Kama is searching for physical, sensuous gratification. Even in the worst situation, Sita's mind is always towards Sri Ram. But in the case of Ahalya, It is only the absence of opportunity that makes her faithful to her husband. If there is an opportunity to fall, she is ready to exercise her will for the pleasures. We know the story of Ahalya. She is Brahma's daughter. She is to get married. Brahma said, whoever goes round the world and comes first will be given the most beautiful Ahalya. All the Dikpalakas, Devatas went round the earth. Gautama Maharshi went round Gomata. Gomata is Bhumata. Going round the Gomata is equivalent to going round the Bhumata. Gautama Maharshi completed the Pradakshana of Gomata and claimed the hand of Ahalya. Brahma, knowing the scriptures, cannot deny. Therefore, he gave Ahalya to Gautama in marriage. All the Devatas came a little late and they could not have the opportunity to wed Ahalya. But Indra, the most handsome, sensuous person, has an eye on Ahalya. Ahalya too might have had an eye on Indra, the richest person, the person in high position, the most powerful person, and the most handsome man. Indra was disappointed. Ahalya too might have been disappointed. Ahalya wedded Gautama. They were leading a pious life. One day, Indra came in the disguise of Gautama, misled Gautama. Gautama left the cottage. In the absence of Gautama, Indra entered into the ashram and he assumed his original form. Devatas and Rakshasas, when they are at the height of their emotions, cannot conceal their identity. While dying and while enjoying, they display their original form. In the height of emotion, Indra assumed his original form. Ahalya looked at him. She knew that it was Indra. She could not resist the temptation to be indulgent in pleasures with Indra. That is a common mind. Normal mind, mediocre mind. It is only in the absence of opportunities many people are good, perfect. When I walk on the road, if I find a 100 rupee note, I am tempted to take it and put it in my pocket. But I look this side and that side. When I find my friends, relatives and bosses around me, I appear to be honest. Give that 100 rupee note to the responsible person, asking him to hand over to the loser. The same man myself, in the night, when there is nobody in the street, if I find another 100 rupee note, I take it, pick it up, put it in the pocket. In the broad daylight, when people are seeing me, I am honest. The same person, in the night, in the absence of everybody, when there is an opportunity to be tempted, I fall. That is the ordinary mind. Sita's mind is like the honey bee, always collecting honey. It will be always going round the flowers, jasmines, roses, lotuses, collecting honey, single-minded devotion. Ahalya's mind is like the domestic fly. It will be on rasgulla for some time. It will be on the laddu for some time. It may go to the flowers for some time. It may go to the excreta for some time. It may land on the body for some time. The profane things and the profound things are both visited by the common mind. This Ahalya is unplowed, uncultivated, samskara rahita. It is not 24 karat gold. There is a mix of copper in it. Prema and Kama are put together in the mind of Ahalya. When there is no opportunity, she is good. She is Pativrata. I am trying to follow Valmiki Ramayana. In the other Ramayanas, Ahalya might have been presented as the perfect lady who submitted to Indra thinking him to be Gautama. But in Valmiki Ramayana, it is not so. Ahalya knew pretty well that it was not Gautama Maharshi, her husband, that it was only Indra, the sensuous, handsome man of position, power. She was tempted. She yielded to the temptations. In the absence of opportunities, she is faithful to her husband. When there is an opportunity, when there is a chance, she submits to the lust. She yields to the temptations like the domestic fly. Sita Devi is like the honey bee, magnetic needle, perfect, pure, chaste, always, under all circumstances. Ahalya is the unplowed, uncultivated, uncultured, impure lady who is good only when there is no opportunity to fall. Otherwise, she falls. We find in the character of Ahalya a mind which is both profane and profound, which is both low and high, which is both chaste and unchaste, both pure and impure. It is a mediocre mind, oscillating, moving about, wandering about, good and bad, right and wrong, fair and foul. To build the image, in the absence of opportunities, she is perfect. When there is a temptation, when there are opportunities for the sense indulgence, she falls. This is the case with most people, whether they are men or women. But Sita, whatever may be the threats, whatever may be the temptations, her mind is always chaste, pure, like the honey bee. We find the third category, always low, always mean, always lustful, always sinful, and that is Surpanaka. Surpanaka is the sister of Ravana. Ravana has two brothers and one sister. Ravana is the eldest of Rajasic nature. His brother Kumbhakarna is of Tamasic nature. His another brother Vibhishana is of Sattvic nature. And these three brothers have one sister, that is Surpanaka, who is sinful. She is a widow. She is highly lustful. She wants handsome men. She has come to Panchavati. There she has seen Sri Ramachandra Prabhu, excellent personality, attractive personality, very handsome man, Sri Raghavam, Dasharathatmajam, Aprameyam, Ajanubahum, Aravinda Dalayataksham, the man of extraordinary attraction, very enticing personality, very much irresistible is his personal structure. Very handsome is Ram, and immediately Surpanaka had the moha. She had the upsurge of lust. She wanted the company of Ram. She went to him, pleaded with him, requested him to offer himself for her pleasure. She was ready to give up her all for the pleasure of Sri Ramachandra Prabhu. This is the character of Surpanaka. When Sri Ramachandra Prabhu said, "No, I am sorry, I am already a married man," there you find Lakshmana, my brother, of rose complexion, golden complexion. He has no wife here, he is alone, he is brahmachari. He is the right person for you. And Surpanaka went to Lakshmana. Had she been really in love with Sri Ram, she would not have gone to Lakshmana as per the directions of Ram. She went to Lakshmana. "You are so fine, so handsome. I want you, please accept me. Let's enjoy the pleasures of the body," she pleaded. Lakshmana said, "I am only a servant. I am only a subordinate. I am only a sevaka. He is my boss. You better go to Sri Ram." Again Surpanaka went to Ram. Had she been in love with Lakshman, she should not have gone to Ram. Ram and Lakshman played with Surpanaka as though it was a play of football. Rama sent her to Lakshmana, Lakshmana sent her back to Ram. She wanted the pleasures of the body. She was drawn to every handsome man. This is a sinful mind. This is an impure mind. This is an imperfect mind. She is Surpanaka of large, ugly nails. Her only aim is to indulge in the bodily pleasures. Now we have three characters. One is Sita, honey bee, pure, chaste, like the magnetic needle, only of pure love for Ram. Nothing can tempt her, nothing can threaten her. But in the case of Ahalya, she is for both. She is faithful to her husband in the absence of opportunities. When there is an opportunity, when there is a temptation, she is ready to fall and enjoy the pleasures of the body. She is like the domestic fly, sometimes on the sweets, sometimes on the excreta. Surpanaka is the lowest, always lustful, always mean, always in the domain of sin. This woman is the lowest category. In the humanity, in mankind, we have three types of minds. One is the most profound mind, pure mind, chaste mind, bee-like mind, like that of Sita Devi. Sita is 24-karat gold in being perfect. A step below mediocre is Ahalya. In the society today, we find most people like Ahalya. They are good in the absence of opportunities to be bad. If there is an opportunity and privacy and secrecy, they are likely to fall. The third variety is the lowest category. They are of criminal mind, they are of sinful mind, they are of lustful mind, like that of Surpanaka. Valmiki Maharshi in Srimad Ramayana describes the three types of mind in the three wonderful characters Sita Devi, Ahalya and Surpanaka. Let us be grateful to the great Maharshi, Adikavi, Valmiki Maharshi, for giving us the wonderful presentation of three minds. Sri Raghavam Dasharathatmajam Mangalam Kosalendraya Mahaniya Gunatmane Chakravarti Tanujaya Chakravarti Tanujaya Sarvabhaumaya Mangalam.
Thank you, Professor K. Subramaniam ji, for speaking about Sanketa Ramayana. We'll meet again tomorrow. Namaste.